Morning. Almost afternoon. Give people some time to get in here. Got about a little over 2.5 hours until lock on DraftKings. Chicago Street Course. Third road course race of the season. Pull up that weather forecast for today. See what rain is supposed to do. Up to 80% chance at 5 p.m. So we're most likely dealing with rain. 35% chance at the start of the race. Steadily increases after that. We're going to be dealing with rain today. It's going to throw in some unpredictability at a very tight racetrack that can have chaos. So, man, this is a weird slate to build because SVG obviously the very heavy favorite to win this race. Most likely to win this race, could lead a ton of laps, but doesn't make the most sense to play in DFS this week because of how everything else played out in qualifying yesterday. So we got William Byron starting 38th, Chase Elliott starting 39th, Bubba Wallace starting 37th, Denny Hamlin starting 40th. So we have all these place differential plays, and that's just the bottom four, not to mention anybody else in this slate. This race is only 75 laps. If we get rain, if we don't start on the rain, we're going to get a caution early. That's going to take away green flag laps. That's going to take away fastest laps. We have the stage cautions that are going to take away fastest laps. Any other natural cautions, just from people wrecking or anything happening, are going to take away fastest laps. And the biggest question today that people need to answer and figure out when they're building lineups is what the hell you do with SVG, because it goes against typical thinking, because you have a guy that is the best on road courses right now. He just kicked the shit out of everybody at Mexico City. He led laps at Coda earlier this year, I think he finished 6th there. SVG is the favorite to win today. He rightfully is. He's on the pole. But with no place differential upside for him, with the lack of potential dominator points, not only from all the cautions that we can assume are going to happen, but just the overall small amount of laps in this race. This is only a 75-lap race. The math isn't mathing to lock in SVG, even though he's the favorite. And it's a weird concept to try to think about. But that's what makes these DFS games so fun. And it's what makes you think on what you actually have to do this week. But I'll tell you what, my optimal projected lineup today does not have SVG in it. If you use my projections today, and just run 150 lineups, SVG comes in at like 2%. I adjusted his my projections for him for his laps led and his fastest laps and everything, and kind of went like max. To where, if everything went right, nothing went wrong. I went his max, and he's still not coming up a ton. A little bit more. He's coming up about 20%, which is where I think we need to be, or people should be with SVG. Like, you need to have exposure if you're mass entering lineups today. But SVG certainly isn't a lock. Whereas guys like, Chase Elliott to me is an absolute lock today. There's also the concept or the potential for SVG to. I heard earlier in the week that he was going to go for a stage win as opposed to staying on the best strategy to win the race, which would just throw off, his lap lead potential even more. So I know SVG is the favorite. I think he's gonna be in that 30 to 35 to 40% ownership today, but I just can't get there. I think we go underweight on SVG, and I'm perfectly fine locking in guys like Chase Elliott, William Byron, Bubba Wallace today, and playing the safer route and trying to get more strategic with the rest of the lineups and some of these other guys that don't cost 12,000 like SVG does. But Bubba Wallace fastest in practice yesterday when spun out in qualifying, so he's starting 37th. I have no issue taking and going really heavy on Bubba Wallace today. Here's the thing. He's got a bad rap of not being a good road course racer. Let's look at his finishes over the last 10 road course races. 12th, 20th, 9th, 17th, 13th here at Chicago last year. 20th, 15th, 16th, 12th, 18th. Has not finished worse than 20th at a road course in the last 10 races. Starting 37th at $6,400 on DraftKings. You don't need much at all. You need Bubba Wallace to not wreck today for him to hit value and be in the lineup, the optimal lineup. Denny Hamlin starting dead last. He didn't even get a practice lap in before his engine blew yesterday. If I'm going to be underweight on a chalk driver today, it's going to be Denny Hamlin. I understand he's starting dead last. I understand, we need to have exposure there. But Denny Hamlin's not good at road courses, not great at road courses by any means. Top 20s, he has 2 in the last 7 road course races. 30th here at Chicago Street Course last year. He did finish 11th in the first year here at Chicago Street Course after starting on the pole. Did not lead a single lap in that race. But Denny Hamlin's not that good at road courses. I'm fine with going underweight on him. I don't like the fact that he did not get any practice. But starting 40th, all that place differential upside, you need to have exposure and a significant amount. But the thing is, there's so many chalk drivers this week. I think we really need to look into getting different. Like, to me, this is an eat the chalk race. I understand that this can be chaotic, and we can form line. I still think you need 2 or 3, hell, even 4. Of the place differential guys this week to just overall. Yeah, you certainly can. I mean, you can go SVG, Byron, Elliott, Hamlin, Bubba, and then just punt with Cody Ware, Ty Dillon, Josh Palicki, Catherine Legg, one of those guys, or one of those drivers. You certainly can. And if that's what's going to end up winning, the big GPP, that's just going to be sad. It's going to be chopped so many ways if it goes that way. But to me, I'd rather cut off of, and I'll get my screen on here. Like, yeah, you can go SVG and then go Ty Dillon here. I mean, that's not out of this world. But to me, why not go Christopher Bell and Justin Haley, or Christopher Bell and Todd Gilliland, or Christopher Bell and John Hunter Nemechek? Like, you have much the upside's so much higher for Christopher Bell starting 30th, and if he runs and gets a podium finish, even if SVG dominates this race. So yeah, it is possible. Bowman will be started 11. His official starting position will be 11th. So that's where he'll be scored from. Yes. I think all 4 Hendrick cars will be at the back today, starting in the back. Elliott and Byron, obviously, because they quote unquote qualified back there. But then, yeah, Bowman and Larson will both be starting in the back. I'm pretty sure. I didn't see anything posted officially, but I would I'd bet that they are. Pulling up Pockers's Twitter quick to see. Yeah, you're right. That's where I saw it as well. Hendrick Motorsports. Excuse me. Yeah, I saw Hendrick Motorsports post on Facebook. They're all starting in the back. But going yeah, so SVG said that this is a tweet from Pockers about an hour ago. SVG, who's on the pole for today's Cup race, said the team would be willing to stay out and get a playoff point and then battle its way from having mediocre track position if they do. Why? I don't understand this. Like, if you want, why are you overvaluing the playoff point for winning the stage? You get 5 for winning the race. I don't understand this mindset by them. Like, if SVG is going to do anything in the playoffs, he needs all the points he can. So why are you chasing the penny when the nickel's right there? That's weird to me. But it opens the door for for playing some of these mid-tier guys, or which, my optimally projected lineup today does exactly that. And I know one question I get every week is whether I like it. And I don't hate it at all this week. I actually really like it. I don't know how many people are going to have it, despite it being pretty chalky, but it goes Byron Elliott, Chris Buescher, Michael McDowell, who, if SVG doesn't lead, Michael McDowell's probably going to get up there and lead. My only issue with Michael McDowell is that road courses lately, over the last couple years, or going back to the start of last year, he hasn't been putting up fastest laps at road courses, which creates a hesitancy for me because he starts second. So there's no place differential upside. I think McDowell will be a contender, and it's so hard to say that anybody's going to have anything for SVG speed wise, but I don't think it's out of this world to think that he could be there. But optimally projected lineup goes Byron Elliott, Buescher, McDowell, Hamlin, Bubba. Which, and if you wanted to get off the chalk there, you could come off of Bubba, go up to Todd Gilliland, starting 20th, or come off of Hamlin, jump down. But overall, I don't mind pairing up Buescher and McDowell in a lineup, despite McDowell not having the upside, and then Buescher starting 8th. I mean, Buescher's going to have to get top 5 probably to hit that value, but it's not out of this world for Buescher to be there. It's a road course. Chris Buescher has had the best average finish on road courses since the start of 2022. It goes Busher, Elliott, SVG, who SVG only has 8 starts, but Busher, Elliott, SVG, Reddick, Bell. Those are the top 5 at road courses since the start of 2022. Yeah, you could go. You could. I mean, here's the thing about this week. There's so many ways to go and small little pivots to make because of the potential for chaos. Custer was not good in practice, but we saw what he did at Mexico City. We know he's a decent road course racer. So yeah, you could definitely come off of Bubba and go to Gillen, go to John Hunter Nemechek was good at Mexico. I don't hate John Hunter Nemechek today at all. I think John Hunter Nemechek's actually pretty solid today. I would rather go Nemechek over Custer. And then you even get down to some of these other guys. Zane Smith, I don't know if you guys saw my tweet, but Zane Smith, his practice times were not bad. And I hate when I'm on Zane Smith. He is my arch nemesis for sure. But Zane Smith's practice times were not bad. Average speed-wise, he had top 10 times in practice this weekend. You can even go down to Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who always finds a way to move up at these road courses. Starting 32nd. Hell, he finished 6th here last year after starting 33rd. But even looking at other road courses, 27th at Mexico City, but before that, 18th at COTA this year, 16th at the Charlotte Roval last year, 6th at Chicago Street Course last year, 24th at Sonoma, 13th at Watkins Glen in 2023, 12th at Sonoma in 2023. Like, Stenhouse, with a little bit of luck, can get there as well. Josh Berry is garbage at road courses. Noah Gragson, again, I hate being on Zane Smith. I hate being on Noah Gragson, but Noah Gragson has speed this week. Noah Gragson definitely has speed this week. He was 22-1 for a top 10 at FanDuel, and I had to bet that. He had, if you look at his lap times from practice, still talking about Gragson. If you look at Gregson's lap times in practice, he had like 3 just bad laps. I think he ran 9 laps total. There was a couple in there that were, I think, affected by the on-track issues. That's one thing about practice. We didn't really get a great practice session. But the laps that Gragson ran clean were very good. Will he be able to yeah, and you're right, Bill. I think he did get into the wall and had a broken toe link, and we'll have to go to the back. But before that, in the clean laps, he had good speed, just like Zane Smith. Now the question becomes, will they be able to do it for 75 laps? Like, Gregson's always had an issue at Chicago Street Course hitting the wall. Will he be able to do it for 75 laps and keep it clean? We'll see. But to me, Gregson's a decent tournament option this week. Stenhouse is, I think, might be an overlooked guy this week. Austin Hill, if you want to jump down there and get him. I mean, like, all these guys, I think you just need to kind of, in a way, play this like a super speedway race because of the potential for chaos, because we've seen these lower tier guys finish decently well on road courses before. So I think that's kind of how you got to play this. But if you come down here and you grab Noah Gragson, if you don't want to go Busher and McDowell, you can come off of Busher and hit Bell. So you're going Byron Elliott, Bell, who can win this race, McDowell, who can win this race, Gregson, Bubba Wallace. you start differentiating yourself a little bit. You're getting a little bit off the chalk. You're moving things around here. Yes, I do have a DraftKings contest today. I will put the link here in the comments for you. There's that for you. I'll tweet it out a little bit later too. But even something like this, if you jump down to Austin Hill, now you can get Busher in this lineup. You got Bell, Busher, Byron Elliott, Bubba, Austin Hill. The only downside with Christopher Bell this week is he did not practice well at all. And that kind of concerns me just because, like, at Mexico City, he was one of the best in practice. It wasn't close, and he had a good car. This week, and then he just didn't qualify well. But this week wasn't great in practice. Qualified better than he has on road courses all year. I mean, just going off of Christopher Bell's road course prowess and how he's running on them, yes, he should be a contender to win this race. But I'm a little concerned about his speed. Yeah, this is where a lot of people are going to have to make a decision, is what you're going to do with Ty Gibbs, because it you know what Ty Gibbs is going to show up. He looked good in practice. I'll give him that. He looked good at. To me, Ty Gibbs has been a top 5 car this weekend. Average lap time wise, he was actually relatively close to SVG in practice. Michael McDowell was actually averaging all of their fine laps. Michael McDowell was about 0.3 faster than SVG just on the long run. Now, do I think that's going to happen during the race? No. But Michael McDowell has a really good car. Byron and Elliott both have really good cars. And then Ty Gibbs was up there with SVG as well. There we go. I was waiting for that comment. I addressed it a little bit earlier. I actually really do like my optimal today. So optimal projected lineup goes Byron Elliott, Busher McDowell. I like it in the sense that I don't think a ton of people are going to be on this. I don't know how many people are going to go Busher McDowell in the same line. I think the rest is chalky enough, but yeah, I like it. Byron Elliott, Busher McDowell, Hamlin, Bubba. And then the second highest projected off of that goes the same core 4 there of Byron Elliott, Hamlin, Bubba, but it goes Bell and then Zane. Which to me, you could go Zane, you could go Custer, you could go Nemechek, you could go Gilliland, you could go Justin Haley, you could go did I say Nemechek? You could go Stenhouse, you could go Gregson. Like, there's so many ways to go. But yes, I'm happy with it. And I think there's a ton of ways you can differentiate and try to kind of get off the chalk a little bit. You know, if you didn't want to go Hamlin and you wanted to go You still wanted to go Bell. That's kind of what I was doing with that lineup before. You know, if you go Gregson and then you go, you can still grab McDowell if you want here. So I actually like this variation quite a bit, going Bell, Byron Elliott, McDowell, Gregson, Bubba Wallace. I wish I had that extra 100 to get Stenhouse, but I'm fine with Gregson. Lots of ways to go. I don't know if we should even build for no rain though. It's looking like rain is like definitely happening, right? All right, I'm gonna start entering some lineups here. So Chase Elliott, William Byron, Bubba Wallace, AJ Allmendinger, Chris Buescher, where the hell's Todd Gilliland? I don't know. Like there's certain guys, like Cindric. He's not good on rain tires either. Someone like Todd Gilliland comes to mind as being better on rain tires than some. Ty Dillon has had races where he's better on rain tires. But going back to, so I just put in that Byron Elliott, Allmendinger, Buescher, Bubba Gilliland. Can easily jump up here and grab Ty Gibbs instead of Allmendinger, and then go McDowell instead of Buescher. Easy swap there, you know, if you wanted to stay with Byron Elliott, Bubba, Todd Gilliland. And like I said, you can easily come off of Gilliland here if you want to and go Nemechek. Gives you that 300 to stay with Buescher if you want to do that. If you want to go Byron Elliott. I am going to stay with Gilliland here, but this is a good example of all the small little switches you can make to kind of cover your bases while still remaining with that top core. So you go Ty Gibbs, Michael McDowell, Todd Gilliland. Yeah, I still don't understand why. Like that shocked me. Why the hell Cindric stayed out and Buescher stayed out? That was the weirdest strategy call I've ever seen. And maybe that's why. Maybe it's because Cindric knew he wasn't good on rain tires, but yeah, Bell's good on rain tires as well. That's why I love Christopher Bell today. Yeah, so I went over my optimal projected here of Byron Elliott, Buescher, McDowell, Hamlin Bubba. My second highest goes with the Christopher Bell Zane Smith combo. Which I like as well. So lock that one in. All in on Toyota plus 250. Interesting. I do think Reddick, Bell, and Gibbs are all going to be really strong today, but also can't count out Michael McDowell. I think McDowell's going to have something to say today. But SVG is in such a league of his own that he's going to be really tough to beat if they don't shoot themselves in the foot with stupid strategy, which is certainly possible. I'm kind of looking through some of these lineups, just going through the optimizer here of that are kind of different enough to maybe not be duplicated at least as much. Here's one with SVG. So I bumped up. Remember I said, like for my projections today, you're going to have to bump up SVG. I haven't projected decently well to dominate a good chunk of this race. I haven't projected for about 30 laps led and 11 fastest laps, right in that range, 29 to 30 laps led, 10 to 11 fastest laps. I bumped those up by quite a bit just to get him in more lineups. Just because that's how he's not going to show up just using my regular projections and where he's at. But here's one that is pretty chalky, but it also gets off of Byron chalk. So it goes SVG, SVG Elliott, Allmendinger, Denny Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, Zane, which my projections like Zane Smith quite a bit. Again, I don't mind coming down to a Stenhouse or coming down to a Gregson or something. And if you don't like Allmendinger, you could go Stenhouse, Ty Gibbs. I'd almost rather, though, like if I'm going to fade one of Byron or Elliott, I think they're both going to be super high owned. I have Elliott projected at 60% ownership and Byron projected at 54. So if one of them has issues, they're kind of just hoping one of them has issues if you do something like that. Go down to 50. Rather shit in your hands and clap than build with Gibbs. I get it. He is not a very likable guy whatsoever. But something like this, I mean, if we want to get away from picking and going all in on Chase Elliott and William Byron, again, I don't mind Bell. I think Allmendinger's solid value there, starting 16th. He has some upside to move up. Going to hit the chalk with Hamlin, but I think Hamlin potentially is going to be the lowest owned of the chalk back there. I still think he's going to be like 35, 40%, but I think Bubba will be higher. And then obviously Chase Elliott and Byron are going to be super high. I don't mind this lineup just to have some SVG exposure. I'm going to roll with it. And again, I'm perfectly fine going. How the hell do I got Stenhouse on here? Perfectly fine going very high on the chalk of Elliott and Byron. They're just like Chase Elliott's obviously Chase Elliott. Byron's Byron. They're both really good at road courses. They're starting dead last. Like, try not to overthink it. Stuff like that. I know I preach don't pay up for place differential, but in a race where place differential makes so much sense and who the drivers are that have the place differential upside, it makes all the sense in the world today. Saw a question on here. Justin Haley. Yeah. I want to like Justin Haley. I do. That team is just struggling so much. And, he finished 16th at COTA, which is a good run. He has good finishes here at Chicago Street Course. 16th last year in that Rick Ware racing car. Second in 2023. So I understand the upside. Maybe people aren't talking about Haley enough today, but his other finishes at road courses kind of concern me. 24th at Mexico City, 26th at Charlotte Roval last year, 29th at Watkins Glen, 33rd at Sonoma, 39th at COTA. That's just over the last year and a half. So I don't know. I can get there. I like Haley. I didn't mind early week before practice and qualifying. I didn't mind going betting top 10 for Justin Haley. I think he opened at 9-1. He didn't make the betting card, and he's lengthened quite a bit since then, just because of how practice and qualifying went out or how it happened. But you got to think Justin Haley has more speed than he showed in practice, right? Because like Hocevar and McDowell were so good. But Haley was bad. Maybe they'll be able to. Yeah, you are exactly right. Childers did not. When you have that shocking of a departure, there's a reason. And I want Justin Haley to perform well. I do, but I don't know if he's getting shit equipment or what's going on, but something's going on for sure. Ty Dillon is a punt play for sure. I can't say I'm running to grab him. He's not great at road courses. So taking a look at his last 11 road course races, finish wise, he's finished 33rd at Mexico City this year and 28th at Coda. And that's in this number 10 College car. So 31st at Charlotte Roval last year, 34th at Watkins Glen, 27th at, this is 2 years ago, 2023, 27th at Indy Road Course, 35th at Chicago Street Course, 23rd at Sonoma, 39th at Coda, 25th at the Charlotte Roval, 16th at Watkins Glen, and then 34th at Indy Road Course. Those were back in 2022. The only upside on Ty Dillon this week is I think he's better in wet weather tires than some. And plus, his place differential is cheap price. There's opportunity for chaos in this race. If that happens, if he gets through, yes, he's playable. But he's by no means a must start in my eyes. Single entry, I'd rather go McDowell. I think SVG is going to be over-owned compared to what is most likely going to happen in this race, which, like I said, he can win this race, he can dominate it, but there's so many, just one wrong thing that can happen. I'd rather go McDowell in a single entry. Who do you like most in the 65 and under range besides Bubba? So obviously Bubba's number one. Give me my projections like Zane Smith a ton. I hate being on Zane Smith, but I see the upside. So I'm gonna hesitantly rank Zane Smith number one. I actually really like Noah Gragson today. If he can keep it off the wall, Noah Gragson is a tournament play today. I think John Hunter Nemechek is probably next for me in that range. So it's gonna go Bubba. You got Todd Gilliland there too. Give me Bubba, Zane Smith. I'll probably put Gilly third there. Bubba, Zane Smith, Gilly, Gregson, Nemechek, Stenhouse, Custer. Those guys are so close. It's literally just they all have upside, they all have downside. There's no clear favorite of any of them. But I would probably rank Zane Smith above the rest when it comes to speed this weekend and potential. Yeah, I know he hates road courses, but here's the thing. Like I said, he's not bad at them. At $6,400, we don't need him to do much starting 37th. Again, top 20 finishes in the last 10 road courses. He has not finished worse than 20th at a road course since 2023. 10 straight races, top 20 at road courses. Starting 37th, fastest car in practice. I have no worries about Bubba Wallace today. I think him being better at road courses is overblown. Especially when 2311, I was concerned about 2311 at Mexico City when they shit the bed, not only in practice, but qualifying and then the race. Tyler Reddick was off in Mexico. They are fine this week, speed-wise. Will Brown, yeah, so that's an interesting one, and I think a lot of people aren't going to know what to do with him. My concern is the equipment. Colleague, in my opinion, spreads itself a little too thin when they bring out the 13 car. I mean, we saw it with Allmendinger when he ran this car. It had more issues than typical. So you remember Chicago Street Course last year, Allmendinger ran it. He finished 38th, finished 36th at Watkins Glen. However, he did finish last year in this 13 car. He finished 6th at Coda. So the potential is there. And I think Will Brown is an underrated guy. Today in DFS, I think he's absolutely in play if you want to get a little sneaky, but he's not one that I'm hammering because this car has had mechanical issues and just hasn't quite been up to snuff. You remember SVG ran this car also at Charlotte Roval 2024. He finished 7th. He led 21 laps, but like to me, this car, I'm just a little worried about the car. Nothing major, but the concern is, I would say, there. Oliver, yeah, I like Gregson today, and I think he's going to the back, but I think he has speed. He's an underrated road course driver. So we look at Noah Gragson on road courses when he doesn't have issues. 8th at Coda this year, 11th at Watkins Glen last year, 14th at Chicago Street Course last year. I think Gregson has good upside, and I think a lot of people are going to overlook him today. Is there a world where SVG? I see. I don't. I think I would be shocked if SVG comes up under 30%. I'll tell you that. I think he's going to be closer to 40% today, to be honest with you. The general public loves SVG. So you have super heavy favorite on the poll. And the people that aren't really talking about SVG today are the ones that are kind of doing the math and saying, wait a second, this doesn't make a ton of sense. But even with I think we see a world where maybe people sacrifice a Hamlin or a Bubba, probably more likely Hamlin. But I mean, you can still go. You can do a lineup like that. And it's really hard for me, not to mention, if you cut a Byron or Elliott, you have plenty of room to move around there too. I mean, if you cut Byron and you go down to Allmendinger, there you go. So it's not that difficult to still eat the chalk here with SVG. So I would be very, very, very surprised if he's under 30%. And that's why I think I don't want to completely fade him today, but I'm perfectly fine going 20% SVG, and I think you'll be underweight there and be fine. I actually don't mind this lineup at all. SVG, Allmendinger, Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, Zane. Actually, I want to get off of Zane and go. Give me like a Stenhouse. Actually, I don't have any Gregson yet. Give me Gregson. This also gives you room to, if you did want to go Byron over Elliott, you could there. I am gonna go. Give me a lineup without Chase. Larson in play. Yeah, he was pretty strong in practice, and then I think he messed up his qualifying lap a bit. I'd rather go Bell though than Larson. Larson's starting in the back. He still gets credited with 14th place starting position, so I'd rather go Bell. I think Bell is a better value there at 10-2. Yeah, absolutely. It's fun doing this stuff, talking it out and seeing the best strategies here. Yeah, SVG to win. Who I'd like to see win? I want to see Ty Gibbs win. That's who I'm rooting for. If you listen to Stacking Denny's, you know I'm rooting for playoff chaos. So I'm rooting for Ty Gibbs or someone really crazy like give me like a Hocevar. Anybody that hasn't won yet, maybe a Brad Keselowski. But yeah, SVG is rightfully the favorite today, the heavy favorite. Eric Jones, top 20. That might be a guy I'm overlooking. And yeah, if I like Nemechek, I gotta like Jones, right? But again, I'd still rather go Stenhouse than Eric Jones. 17th at Mexico City for Eric Jones. 27th at Coda. 29th at Chicago Street Course last year. Did finish 16th here in 2023. And my pages are blocking up a lot today. Yeah, it was close last week in the Boot Man. I finally had a good lineup in there. I've been shitting the bed in that contest all season. SVG 50%. I don't think so. I don't think he gets to 50. If he is, I mean, like I said, I'm perfectly fine being underweight. But I mean, we saw in Mexico, SVG was the play. It was ended up being the correct play, but I think Mexico was what? 90 laps in Mexico. So it made a little bit more sense. And he wasn't priced so out of range of everybody else there. So the math is not mathing. I don't even know if you can bet SVG to win though. Because he's what? I think the best I've seen him is plus 135. Like to me, it's I'd rather take a Christopher Bell at 12-1 or whatever he's at and roll with that than bet a plus 135. I don't know if I can get there. Yeah, I do, and that's like his domination at Mexico City is a big reason why I think like I would be very, 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 very shocked if he's under 30%. I just don't see that happening. Yeah, we need to have a lot of shit happen for SVG to make the optimal. Like, and it certainly can. We could get a stack up and take out like this is a very tight course. If someone gets put into the wall and somehow spins out in front of the field, we could see a ton of people get taken out. It's just what are the chances of that? There are some interesting things you can do with some of these plays here this week. Go Bubba. Projection for Will Brown is only 3. I'm not seeing that. I'm assuming you downloaded my CSV and uploaded that correctly. Because I just re-uploaded it and let me check this. Yeah, it's not 3. I got him at 33. So I just want to double check that upload. I'll double check the file here quick. But it loaded correctly for me. Yeah, I'm showing 33 on that. So just check that file upload. Yeah, there you go. 33.31. Yeah, that's what I'm at. That's what I'm showing too. This could be a way to get off of some of the chalk. Again, I don't think it's smart to get off of all of the chalk. But you go SVG, Elliott, Allmendinger, Brown, Gill, and Stenhouse. It's not the most attractive lineup. And obviously, you're not going Bubba, Byron, or Hamlin. But if there's mass chaos, we could see something like this happen. Actually, I'm going to go, instead of Stenhouse, I'm going to go Gregson here. And then instead of Allmendinger, I'm going to go Ty Gibbs. So SVG, Elliott, Ty Gibbs, Will Brown, Noah Gragson, Todd Gilliland. Gut feeling on Reddick, I'm probably a little underweight on him. I think he's going to be solid top 5. I just starting 4th. I mean SVG is most likely to lead laps. I think McDowell's up there and second most likely. I'm wondering if Reddick might be one of those guys that just runs top 5 all day and doesn't really pick up anything else. That's why I'd rather go down to a McDowell or a Buescher in that range where you're saving some cap, but they have similar upside. To me, McDowell and Reddick have similar upside. But, if Reddick finishes second and pulls a Christopher Bell, or what I think Christopher Bell will be today, I would by no means be surprised. Busch to the rear, huh? I didn't realize they had any issues yesterday. I'm assuming someone's posting maybe Podcast has a full to the rear. Here's an update on the weather. Rain is 60 to 65 miles west. Looks like it's gonna hit between 2:30 and 3:30 Central Time, so that'd be 3:30. They do have rain tires. Heavy rainfall and lightning are possible, and that may cause delays. All right, so to the rear, we got Gregson, Larson, Chase Elliott, Ty Dillon, Denny Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, William Byron, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Alex Bowman, Catherine Legg. $10 cars to the rear out of 40. And now we're gonna throw 40 cars on this track all at the same time. Like the potential for someone to break a toe link just hitting the wall during the race, that's something we can't account for, and that's why I definitely recommend increasing the randomness if you're using an optimizer. I'm not seeing the Kyle Busch news. I could have just missed it here on my feed. Do a search here quick. Where did you see Busch to the rear? Oh, there we go. Matt Weaver. Yeah, Kyle Busch is on there as well. Fading anyone starting in the top 10. I mean, if Bush is going to the rear, I don't like him as much. Briscoe, I already bet Briscoe top 10, 2-1 earlier in the week, so I'm fine fading Briscoe. Probably not getting to a ton of Reddick today. Maybe some. Hocevar, I'm not getting there on Hocevar. Priest, probably not getting there on Priest. Austin Dillon, yeah. So yeah, actually several in the top 10 I'm probably not getting to today. Gonna throw this one in. Yeah, I didn't see it on Bob, but if everybody else is reporting it, it's probably true. I didn't check J-Ski whether they have a list out yet or not. Yeah, Bush isn't on the list on J-Ski either. But like I said, if everybody else is tweeting it, it's probably true. SVG to win stage one at I can't bet minus 140 just because of the chance that just any small thing happens. So, including rain or anything. Kind of just I cranked the randomness on the optimizer here, and just to see what it spit out. Byron Elliott, Gibbs, McDowell, Gillen, Bubba Wallace. Let's go Christopher Bell, William Byron, Chase Elliott. Let's go Will Brown, Bubba, and John Hunter Nemechek. Could do something like this. Go Byron Elliott, Allmendinger, Brown, Cindric, Bubba Wallace. You know what's ironic? Ryan Blaney's official starting position in all three Chicago street course races is 17th. Byron Elliott, McDowell, Cindric, Allmendinger, Gregson. If you have any questions or places you want to, drivers you want to do a build with, or any weird combinations, just throw them in the comments. Yeah, I agree with you on Blaney. I want to try to get some more Blaney in there, and Cindric for that matter. Bush not going to the rear. Okay. One without Chase and Byron. All right. Give me Bell, Allmendinger, Bell, Allmendinger, Blaney, Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick. No, Optimal factored in most of those guys going to the rear, so not worried about that. Let me take curious what my projections like the most. If I take Byron and Elliott out of these, all right, so we take Elliott and Byron out of this. Projections like going Bell, Gibbs, Busher, McDowell, Hamlin, Bubba. So my projections really like going McDowell, Busher, but hand building I like just pivoting down to Bell. Shit. If we do something like this, go Bell, Allmendinger, Busher, McDowell, Hamlin, Bubba. Get off of Hamlin and go to Blaney. So Bell, Allmendinger, Busher, McDowell, Blaney, Bubba Wallace. I think I'd rather go Will Brown here. Go Will Brown. Probably not on Bowman as much as I should be. All right. Bubba Wallace, Christopher Bell, Ty Gibbs, AJ Allmendinger, Austin Cindric, and Will Brown. Yeah, that's what my optimal projected is today. Busher, McDowell, and those four. Zane Smith. Zane Smith always feels gross. Him and Christopher Bell are my arch nemesis and arch nemesis. What's the plural of nemesis? Anyway, Zane Smith for sure. I don't. You don't have to do Zane Smith today, but my projection surely like Zane Smith. I think Briscoe as a pivot. I'd rather. I mean, you could definitely use Briscoe as a pivot off of Busher or McDowell. To me, if you're pivoting off of, I'd rather pivot to Briscoe from McDowell than off of Busher, just because Busher's starting eighth. I think you're kind of going off of McDowell because if you're going McDowell, you're hoping he leads some laps. So pivoting off of him to Busher makes more sense. Because you assume that Briscoe would take that potential spot of an outside dominator. Byron Elliott, Ty Gibbs, Allmendinger. John Hart, Nemechek, Zane Smith. All right, what if we do Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, Michael McDowell, Ryan Blaney, Will Brown, Denny Hamlin. Any shot that Haley comes out of nowhere. I want to like Haley today. I do. There's always a chance, you know, if he gets a caution at the right time, or the speed just isn't there. The good news is his Spire teammates have speed. And again, how much of his track history is due to well-timed cautions? But I mean, he did finish 16th here in that Rick Ware car last year. So yeah, I think Haley could be a guy that people are overlooking, but there's a lot of things, a lot of guys that a lot of people could be overlooking. I liked Haley early on in the week. He was absolute garbage in practice, so that makes me not like him as much. Byron Elliott, Gibbs, Wallace, Ty Dillon. Yeah, I can definitely see there. I'd rather just go Allmendinger and then go Stenhouse. I'm just not, I don't know. I'm not on Ty Gibbs today. Or Ty Dillon. I'm not on Ty Dillon today. I don't think it'll end up being follow the leader. But I do think there's a chance for chaos. I mean, if it rains as hard as it's supposed to, this thing might even get red flagged. I wish we'd have one normal race at Chicago Street Course. Like, that would be amazing. But we can't have nice things. Byron Elliott, Bell, Allmendinger. I'm ending up on so much Allmendinger today. Allmendinger. Actually, get me off of Allmendinger. There we go. Give me, instead of Allmendinger, give me Busher. So Byron Elliott, Bell, Busher, Stenhouse, Zane Smith, let's go Byron Elliott, Gibbs, McDowell, Hamlin. Should probably have some Eric Jones in there, so. Eric Jones. Yeah, with so many options, it comes down to just what's going to be the best combo, and there's so many ways to go. It's hard to tell. All right, we got an hour till lock, so I'm hopping off of here. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you check out rotoballer.com, my premium content. Use code SUMMER. You're going to get over 60% off. You're going to get the rest of the year for like $53. I think you can still start a weekly trial at 99 cents as well. So make sure you check that out. Again, we got an hour till lock. Good luck today. Hopefully we get a good race. This rain doesn't get too crazy at Chicago Street Course. But a lot of chalk. Really just depends what you want to do with it and hope for the best. So plenty of opportunity out there this weekend to do small little pivots, as we always talk about on these live streams. But good luck to you all. Thank you for tuning in. Again, rotoballer.com. Use code SUMMER. You're going to get a fat discount off of my premium content. Make sure you check that stuff out. I put the link to my DraftKings contest for today in the comments. Make sure you join that. $10 to play that. And we'll see you guys later. Enjoy the race today at Chicago. Be back next week for Sonoma. And hopefully we're not talking such a chalky race out there. So good luck today at Chicago. Again, thank you for tuning in. See you guys.